If you look at the next sheet called length and metric units, we're going to look at questions 1 through 4, and then I'll show you the answers for the remainder. And the same thing for the next 3 pages afterwards. So one of the things that we discussed is that when we're converting in the metric units, the good thing about that is that we're able to look at this nice little chart, and it shows us how many spaces we should either be going to the left or to the right, which is easier than us thinking, hey, let's multiply times 1,000, let's multiply times 100, let's multiply times 10, or let's multiply times 1/10, 1/100th, or 1/1000th, or 1,000th of a number. So in this case, remember what we said. We had the nice saying, King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. Now, if we say those words out loud to ourselves, that helps us remember that the K stands for kilo, the H is for hecto, the D, the first D is for deca, all right? The U is for the actual unit, which could be meters. It could also be liters, or it could be grams. The next D is for deci. The C is for centi. And the M over here is for millimeter. All right. So big thing is how do we go when we're trying to go from 600 centimeters to meters? Well, if we place this on our nice chart, and I'll draw a mini chart right over here where we're at our meters here. All right. And then we have our deci, centi, and milli. All right. Or millimeter. Okay. And in this case, we're starting off with 600 here. And we want to go back to meters over here. Well, as you can see, it takes us moving 2 times to the left, and we're going to move 2 spaces. So just imagine that 600 has this nice decimal right behind it, because actually it does. It's just imaginary. All right. And we're going to move that decimal 2 spaces to the left. All right. Just like we did in our chart. All right. In our graph. So once we do that, we're left with 6. So our answer is 6 meters. All right. Now for number 2, 12 centimeters. Again, let's draw our nice little mini version. And again, we're going here at meters. We have our D, we have C, and we have our M. And then this time we are at 12 centimeters, and we're going to millimeters, which means we're going to move 1 spot to the right. So our number 12 is going to have 1 actual 0 that's going to come behind it. So we are 120 millimeters. So however many spaces you move either to the left, if I move 1 space to the left, that means I'm going to have 1 0 at the end of that number. If I move 1 space to the right, that means that my decimal is going to move, and it's going to then be placed in front of 1 number. All right. So let's look at meters to centimeters. So again, I'm 47 meters. And in that case, I'm going from meters to centimeters. And literally, I am moving from meters here 2 spots over. So that means I went that way 2 times. So my number will move 2 spots over. And in between those nice little gaps, I'll put zeros. So my answer is 4,700 or 4,700. Now, in this time, I'm going from 3 kilometers. And I'm starting with my KM, my HM, my DAM, my M. All right. And now, and then this will be kind of like the so forth. All right, so I'm starting at 3, and I'm gonna move until I get to meters. So again, here I am. I'm moving 1, 2, 3 spots over. So those empties will be 0, 0, 0. So my answer is 3,000. All right, so that's how we do that. Now, if you did not get any of these right and you still need further explanation, please feel free to let me know. Reply underneath and let me know what you need help on, what page. But here is the answers for that page. So remember, this is length in metric units. Here are the questions that we went over together, and here are the remaining of your answers. So please check your answers. Pause this video to check those answers and let me know what did you get incorrect. All right. Next up, let's look at weight in customary units. So there are some notes that we need to remember when we are using our customary units. It's not as simple as just remembering our nice chart. Some few things that we should remember as far as to properly convert. One thing is that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Next thing you need to know is that there's 2,000 pounds that equal 1 ton, and ton is abbreviated TN. All right, TN period. Next, one of the things that it does say is if that you wanted to change from ounces to pounds. So if we're going from ounces to pounds, all right, you would divide by 16. So same thing, just think about it. If we were going from pounds to ounces, we would multiply by 16. All right. So how does that go? In this case, we're going from ounces to pounds. So again, all we're going to say is just we're going to be dividing by 16, just as simple as it said. So 48 divided by 16 gives you 3. So we have 3 pounds. Now, the other way you can think about it, if you remember our other video, we said if we had 48 ounces, and here we are, we're going from ounces to pounds. Well, there is 16 ounces and 1 pound. So then our ounces would cancel and we're left with 48 over 16. And then this will be pounds, which will be 3 pounds. So you can think about it like that. Now, what might be easier for some people is just to remember this. If we're going from ounces to pounds, we divide by 16. If we're going from pounds to ounces, we multiply by 16. Whatever works for you is perfect for me. All right. And then this one, when we're looking at this, again, we're going from ounces to pounds. So we know that that means to divide. So we're going to say 39 divided by 16, which actually gives us 2.44. All right. So that's 2.44 pounds. And then last but not least, we have 4 pounds equals how many ounces? Again, that tells us that we should be multiplying. So we have our 4 pounds, multiplied by 16. So when we do that, we get 64 ounces. All right. And I apologize. We got one more. We're going to look at number 4. And in number 4, we're going from tons to pounds. So when we're going from ton to pounds, remember it said there's 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So here we have 1.25 ton. And we want to end up with just pounds. So we're going to take that and we're going to get rid of the tons so that we're left saying 1.25 times 2,000 equals 2,500 pounds. All right. And that is our answer. So if you have any questions about the weight in customary units conversion, please let me know. If not, here is your answer key for that page. Please take a moment to pause and check your answers. I am now going to move on to weight in metric units, which should be easy because we've been talking about this. And remember, all you really need to do is remember that you have your nice chart where you have your king, Henry, died unusually drinking chocolate milk. Again, all it is simple moving of decimals, adding zeros. taking adding a decimal where it needs to be added. So in this case, we're going from 3 kilograms to grams. This actually says we're going to move 1, 2, 3 spots over. Remember, kilogram means times 1,000. So one thing you can do is, if you didn't want to move over, you can move 3 spaces to the right, or you can say 3 times 1,000 equals 3,000 grams. And there's your answer. All right, because remember, this is actually saying 3 kilograms, which kilograms is 1,000, all right, equals 3,000 grams. Kilograms is times 1,000. All right, in this case, we're going from 2 grams to equals how many milligrams. And remember, again, the milligrams is going down. And if we look at our nice chart, again, we have King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. So again, we're going from grams to milligrams. And that's 1, 2, 3. So again, here we would have 2,000. All right. 3 zeros. And then next up, we are going from grams to, I apologize, that is kilograms. So 145 grams to kilograms. Now we're going in a different direction because we are moving in a different way. So we have King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. And we're going from grams to kilograms. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. So, in 145, we'll do the same thing. 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. So our new answer is 0.145. All right. And then last but not least, number 4, we are looking at 3,000 kilograms equals how many tons? Now, this is where it's just a little different because remember, we need to know that there is 1,000. Here's our note, okay? 1,000 kilograms equals 1 ton. So that means for every 1,000, there is 1 ton. So if we have 3,000 kilograms, that means we have 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000. So here's 1 ton, 1 ton, and 1 ton. When we add those nice tons up, we get 3 tons. Or if you simply say, can nicely make our and if we cross out, we're left with 3 times 1 ton equals 3 tons. And our answer is 3. So you have a few different ways you can look at this to solve, but the biggest thing is remembering that 1,000 kilograms equals 1 ton. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. But here are our answers to weight in metric units. Please pay attention to these items here. But here are your answers. Please take a moment to pause and check yourself. Next page is capacity in customary units. So here we know that if we have 8 fluid ounces, which is abbreviated as FL period OZ period, equals 1 cup. And cup is just C period. All right, that's one thing you should know. Then we have 2 cups equals 1 pint. And pint is abbreviated PT period. And then we have 2 pints equals 1 quart. And, excuse the little person, 1 quart is QT, excuse me. And then 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And gallon is GAL, period. All right. So when we are doing that, one of the things that they give you is some extra little notes to remember. And if that helps, it's fine. One thing is, if you're going from ounces to cups, you're going to divide by 8. If you're going from cups to ounces, you're going to multiply it by 8. If you're going from cups to pints or quarts, you're going to, and I won't say that, I'll do divide by 2. And if you're going from pints to cups or quarts to pints, you can multiply by 2. All right. So those make it easier for you to remember. Whatever works for you works for me, as long as you show your work. All right. So let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 says, if we had 32 fluid ounces, we wanted to know how many pints would that be? Well, again, here we are. We have our fluid ounces. So we're going from ounces to pints, right? So one of the things that we can do is we can go from, there's a few steps, okay? So we're going to go from fluid ounces to cups, and then we're going to go from cups to pints, all right? So we got a few steps. So here we're going to say, okay, 32 fluid ounces divided by 8, right? Which we know will give us 4 cups. And then we're going to go from cups, then we're going to say 4 cups divided by 2 would then give us 2 pints. All right. Here's another way to look at that. Okay. So if we're saying we're at 32 fluid ounces, remember we had a few steps, times, we want to go to cups. So here we are. We have 1 cup equals 8 ounces. All right. Times, going from ounces to pints. So 1 ounce equals 2 pints. So all in all, we have 32. This is canceling out. Oops, I'm sorry. That's not pints. This is cups. And here is our pint. All right. So our cups will cancel out. Our ounces, they cancel out. So here we're left with 32 times 2. 32 times 1 times 1, which is 32, divided by 8 times 2, which is 16, and that gives us 2 pints. Here's just another way to look at it, all right? But whatever works for you. If it's easier for you to go from cups, then go from cups to pints, that's fine. Ultimately, you still did the same thing either way. So you have a version A or a version B, and whichever one works better for you works for me. Both are ways to solve it. All right, let's look at question number 2. Question number 2 says we have 4 gallons, and we want to know how many pints is that. All right, so remember that we're going from gallons to pints. So one of the things that we were taught is that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. And then we have 1 quart equals 2 pints. And ultimately, that's where we want to end at. So we're starting at gallons and we're ending at pints. So let's start with our gallons. So here we have 4 gallons times, we want to eliminate gallons and we want to end with quarts, right? So we want our quarts, which we know is 4, over our 1 gallon, all right? And so when we do that, now we have 4 gallons is how many quarts? That gives us 16 quarts, right? And now we want to go from quarts to pints. So we know that we want to eliminate the quarts. And there's 2 pints. So now the quarts will eliminate. And now we have 16 times 2 pints. And that gives us 32 pints. Man. Other way you can think about it is just simply saying, okay, well, 4 gallons, and that is 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those gallons, and for every gallon it's 4 quarts. So that's 4 quarts, 4 quarts, 4 quarts, and 4 quarts. So that's 16 quarts. All right. And then for every quart, there's 2 pints. So that just means that we're breaking down this 16 times. I won't do 16 times. But then here we got 16 times the 2 pints. So that's just 16 times 2, which is 32. So that's 32 pints. Just a few different ways to look at it. Whichever way works better. Again, I can't express that enough. If you have a way that works for you and you still can show that work and get the same answer, that is totally fine with Miss P. All right, let's look at number 3. And in number 3, we want to know if we have how many cups would give us 24 fluid ounces. All right. So again, we know that 8 ounces or 8 fluid ounces, equals 1 cup. So if we have 24 of those nice ounces, we want to say we have 24 fluid ounces, and I want to end up in cups. So I need to eliminate fluid ounces. So here I am. I can eliminate that because they X out each other. And so now I'm left with 24 times 1 cup, which is, it's 24 over 8. Miss P apologizes, I forgot the 8. 24 divided by 8 times that 1, which really is saying 3 times 1 cup, which is 3 cups. All right. Boom. And that is my answer. 3 cups equals 24 fluid ounces. All right. So I think that's safe to say that's some good practice. Okay, so here is your answer key. And again, please pause, check your answers. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. And I will be more than happy to give you a breakdown. The last one that we'll go through it real quickly is the capacity in metric units. And again, all you need to know is just how many places I need to move. So as you've been doing this over and over, it gets really, really easy. So if we're going from milliliters to liters, that means we are going back 3 spaces because milliliters is actually 1 over 1,000. So that means I need to move to 1, 2, 3 spaces. So I need to move 3 spaces to the left. So in this case, I'm going to move from here 1, 2, 3. So now I have 5 liters. All right. And here I'm going from liters to kiloliters. And remember, this is just times 1,000. So that means I'm going over this way to the left again. I'm going 3 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So my decimal is here. So that's 2 kiloliters. And then over here, I'm going from 3 liters to milliliters. And again, this is just 1,000. So I'm going to go 3 spaces in this direction to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I can fill those in with zeros. And I have 3,000 milliliters. All right. Really easy to do once you get into the groove of it. Here are your answers for capacity in metric units. Please check yourself. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. This ends our homework that we had that was given out at the end of last week. Thursday for some students, Friday for some others. Please make sure that you're taking your time checking your answers. Again, please do not be afraid to let Miss P know if she needs to explain something again. If you need additional help, additional practice, I'll be more than happy to find you something that might be fun and interactive for you to do that will help you. As always, I am here to help you, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good day.